Resident Evil, released in 2002, is a science fiction action horror film directed by Paul W.S. Anderson. It is the first installment in a film series based on the popular video game franchise of the same name. The movie blends elements of horror, action, and science fiction to create a story set in a sinister and secretive underground laboratory known as The Hive. The film begins with a series of mysterious events at the Umbrella Corporation, a powerful pharmaceutical company with clandestine activities. The corporation's underground laboratory, known as The Hive, experiences a catastrophic security breach. The Red Queen, an advanced AI responsible for overseeing the facility, seals off The Hive and kills everyone inside to contain the outbreak of a dangerous virus. The story then introduces Alice, played by Milla Jovovich, a woman who awakens in a mansion with amnesia. She is soon joined by a group of elite commandos, including Matt, played by Eric Mabius, Rain, played by Michelle Rodriguez, JD, played by Pasquale Aliardi, and others. They are led by a man named Spence, played by James Purefoy. The group is unaware of their true identities or the reason they are there. As they explore the mansion, they discover that it is a secret entrance to the Hive, which houses the underground laboratory. They also find an AI named the Red Queen, voiced by Michaela Dicker, which is in control of the facility. The Red Queen explains that a viral outbreak has occurred, turning the lab's staff into flesh-eating zombies and releasing dangerous bioengineered creatures called lickers. The group's mission becomes clear. They must shut down the Red Queen, retrieve the T-virus, the source of the outbreak, and escape before the Hive is sealed off permanently. They navigate through various dangers, including hordes of zombies, traps, and confrontations with the mutated creatures. As they progress deeper into the Hive, the group uncovers the truth about their identities and the role they played in the outbreak. It's revealed that Spence, Alice's lover, had stolen the T-virus to sell it to the highest bidder, leading to the outbreak. The Red Queen also divulges that the virus was intentionally released to contain the outbreak within the Hive. The survivors face numerous challenges and betrayals as they attempt to escape, with several members of the team succumbing to the dangers within the Hive. The film's climax involves a showdown with the Red Queen, and Alice and Matt must battle against the seemingly unstoppable mutated creature known as the Nemesis. Resident Evil is known for its action-packed sequences, impressive special effects, and Milla Jovovich's charismatic performance as Alice. The film successfully brings the horror elements of the video game series to life on the big screen, and its blend of science fiction and survival horror makes it a unique addition to the genre. The film was a commercial success and spawned a successful film franchise that continued to explore the Umbrella Corporation's sinister machinations, the T-virus, and the ongoing battle against bioengineered horrors. It also introduced audiences to the character of Alice, who became an iconic figure in the Resident Evil film series. Overall, Resident Evil laid the foundation for a long-running and popular film franchise based on the beloved video game series.
Resident Evil Apocalypse is a 2004 science fiction action horror film directed by Alexander Witt. It serves as a sequel to the 2002 film Resident Evil and is the second installment in the Resident Evil film series, which is loosely based on the popular video game series of the same name. Here is a detailed summary of the movie. Plot. Summary. The film picks up immediately after the events of the first Resident Evil movie. The deadly T-virus has escaped from the underground Umbrella Corporation laboratory in Raccoon City and turned the population into ravenous zombies. Alice, Milla Jovovich, the genetically enhanced protagonist from the first film, awakens in a deserted hospital and finds herself in the midst of a city overrun by the Undead. Alice is soon joined by Jill Valentini, Sienna Guillory, a former member of Raccoon City's Special Tactics and Rescue Service, STRs, who has become a determined survivor. They are also joined by Carlos Oliveira, Oded Fair, and his team of mercenaries, who have been sent by Umbrella to rescue Dr. Charles Ashford, Jared Harris. a scientist who possesses knowledge critical to controlling the T-virus. Dr. Ashford's daughter, Angela, Sophie Vavasseur, is stranded in Raccoon City, and he implores Alice and the group to rescue her in exchange for safe passage out of the city. However, they have only a few hours before Umbrella's plan to sterilize Raccoon City with a nuclear bomb takes effect. As Alice, Jill, Carlos, and the others navigate through the city, they face not only hordes of zombies, but also genetically enhanced creatures, including the formidable Nemesis, a hulking bioengineered super soldier with a personal vendetta against Alice. Along the way, they encounter other survivors, including LJ, Mike Epps, who adds humor to the dire situation. Alice gradually regains her memories and abilities, including superhuman strength and agility, which she uses to fight off the relentless threats. Jill, meanwhile, relies on her combat skills and familiarity with the city to lead the group to safety. As they race against time, the group uncovers Umbrella's true intentions. They plan to destroy Raccoon City to cover up the outbreak and protect their research. Alice and her allies confront Umbrella's forces, and a series of intense battles ensue. In the climax of the film, Alice faces off against the Nemesis, eventually revealing that the creature was once Matt Addison, Eric Mabius, a former ally who was subjected to Umbrella's experiments. Alice defeats Nemesis and disables the nuclear bomb with moments to spare. The movie concludes with Alice, Jill, and the others leaving Raccoon City in a helicopter, having narrowly escaped the explosion. However, they are unaware that the events in Raccoon City are just the beginning of a larger conspiracy involving Umbrella Corporation's sinister experiments and plans for global domination. Themes: Resident Evil, Apocalypse. Explores themes of survival, corporate greed, and the consequences of unchecked scientific experimentation. It delves into the idea of ordinary individuals thrust into extraordinary situations and the choices they make in the face of overwhelming danger. Legacy and reception. While Resident Evil Apocalypse received mixed reviews from critics, it was successful at the box office and contributed to the popularity of the Resident Evil film franchise. The movie's action sequences and horror elements appealed to fans of the video game series, and Milla Jovovich's portrayal of Alice gained recognition as a strong female action hero. The film's success led to several more sequels in the series, continuing the story of Alice and the global conspiracy surrounding Umbrella Corporation. The Resident Evil film franchise ultimately became one of the highest-grossing film series based on a video game, solidifying its place in the realm of action horror cinema.
Resident Evil Extinction is a 2007 science fiction horror film and the third installment in the Resident Evil film series, directed by Russell Mulcahy. The movie is based on the popular video game series of the same name created by Capcom. It continues the story of Alice, Milla Jovovich, a genetically enhanced warrior who battles the Umbrella Corporation's relentless pursuit of global domination and their creation of the T-virus, which has led to a global zombie apocalypse. The film is set in a post-apocalyptic world where the T-virus has decimated the global population, turning humans into undead creatures and rendering much of the Earth a desolate wasteland. Alice, who was once part of Umbrella's secret experiments, has now become a rogue warrior, determined to take down the sinister corporation and stop the spread of the virus. The movie opens with Alice roaming the Nevada desert, battling hordes of zombies and using her superhuman abilities to survive. She communicates through a video journal, reflecting on her life and the state of the world. Meanwhile, Claire Redfield, Ali Larder, leads a group of survivors who traverse the harsh desert in search of a safe haven known as Arcadia, a rumored uninfected place. However, they soon discover that Arcadia is not what it seems, and their situation becomes increasingly dire. As Alice and Claire's paths eventually cross, they decide to team up, along with other survivors, to confront the Umbrella Corporation. Together, they embark on a dangerous journey to Alaska, where they believe a potential cure to the T-virus may be found. Along the way, they encounter various challenges, including mutant creatures and treacherous traps set by the Umbrella Corporation. One of the film's central antagonists is Dr. Isaacs, Ian Glenn, an Umbrella scientist who is obsessed with finding a solution to the T-virus crisis, even if it means sacrificing human lives in the process. Isaacs is determined to capture Alice for her unique genetic makeup, which holds the key to Umbrella's goals. The action sequences in Resident Evil Extinction are a major highlight, featuring intense shootouts, hand-to-hand combat, and creative use of weaponry. Alice's character is further developed, showcasing her evolution as a formidable and resourceful fighter, and her interactions with Claire add depth to the narrative. The film's post-apocalyptic setting, filled with desolate landscapes, decaying cities, and abandoned facilities, creates a bleak and eerie atmosphere. The special effects are well executed, enhancing the sense of danger and horror throughout the story. Resident Evil Extinction delves into themes of survival, corporate greed, the consequences of genetic experimentation, and the resilience of the human spirit in the face of an impending global catastrophe. The movie also draws inspiration from the video game series, incorporating elements familiar to fans such as mutant creatures, zombies, and iconic weaponry. While the film provides exciting action and suspense, it's worth noting that some critics and fans felt it lacked the depth and character development seen in the earlier installments of the series. It's also criticized for its somewhat convoluted plot and certain unrealistic action sequences. In summary, Resident Evil Extinction is a visually striking and action-packed entry in the Resident Evil film series. It continues the story of Alice and her battle against the Umbrella Corporation in a post-apocalyptic world overrun by the T-virus. While it may not be as critically acclaimed as the first film in the series, it offers a satisfying blend of horror, science fiction, and intense action for fans of the franchise.
Resident Evil Afterlife is the fourth installment in the Resident Evil film series, released in 2010 and directed by Paul W.S. Anderson. Continuing the storyline based on the popular video game franchise, the film follows Alice, played by Milla Jovovich, as she battles the Umbrella Corporation and its T-virus, which has turned most of the world's population into zombies. The story picks up where Resident Evil Extinction left off, with Alice continuing her quest to destroy the Umbrella Corporation and its sinister experiments. The film begins with a spectacular assault on the Umbrella Corporation's headquarters in Tokyo, where Alice clones, created as part of Umbrella's experiments, infiltrate the facility. Despite her efforts, Alice discovers that Albert Wesker, Sean Roberts, the head of Umbrella, has become superhuman after injecting himself with the T-virus. Following the attack on Umbrella's Tokyo facility, Alice sets out to find survivors and reaches a safe haven in Alaska. There she reunites with Claire Redfield, Allie Larder, who has lost her memory due to experimentation. The survivors discover an abandoned prison, where they decide to take refuge. The group faces new challenges as they encounter hordes of undead and other mutated creatures, including the Executioner, a towering axe-wielding monster. The narrative introduces new characters, including Chris Redfield, Wentworth Miller, Claire's brother, who was separated from her during the events of Resident Evil Extinction. Together, the group plans to escape the prison and find a rumored safe haven in Los Angeles. Along the way, they encounter other survivors, including Luther West, Boris Kodjoy, who adds his combat skills to the group. The film's action sequences are a standout, featuring intense gunfights, martial arts, and creative use of 3D technology, which was a significant aspect of the film's marketing. The 3D effects enhance the immersive quality of the action, making it a visually engaging experience for viewers. As the group reaches Los Angeles, they discover a ship anchored in the harbor, surrounded by thousands of undead. Inside the ship, They find a multitude of survivors who have been lured there by a broadcast promising safety. However, they soon realize that this apparent haven is not what it seems, and they must face Wesker once again. Resident Evil Afterlife concludes with a dramatic confrontation between Alice and Wesker, setting the stage for future installments in the franchise. The film leaves certain plot lines open-ended, ensuring that the saga of Alice and the battle against the T-virus will continue. While Resident Evil Afterlife received mixed reviews from critics, its success at the box office and among fans solidified its place in the Resident Evil film series. The movie's emphasis on action, visual effects, and the continuation of the overarching storyline make it a noteworthy entry in the franchise for fans of the survival horror genre. Resident Evil Retribution is the fifth installment in the Resident Evil film series, directed by Paul W.S. Anderson and released in 2012. The movie continues the story of Alice, played by Milla Jovovich, as she battles the Umbrella Corporation and faces new challenges in a world overrun by zombies and other mutated creatures. The film opens with a recap of the events leading up to Alice's capture by the Umbrella Corporation. She wakes up in a facility in suburbia, a simulated environment used for testing and experimentation. Alice discovers that she is part of a complex simulation designed by the Red Queen, the artificial intelligence controlling Umbrella's facilities. The simulation recreates various global locations where Umbrella conducted its experiments, and Alice must navigate through these scenarios to survive. Throughout the simulation, Alice encounters characters from her past, including Reino Campo, Michelle Rodriguez, James Oneshade, Colin Salmon, and Carlos Oliveira Oded Fair, all of whom have previously perished in the series. As she fights her way through these simulated environments, Alice uncovers more about the Umbrella Corporation's experiments and the reasons behind the creation of the Red Queen. To escape the simulation and confront the real-world threat, Alice teams up with a group of survivors, including Ada Wong, Li Bingbing, and former allies Jill Valentine, Sienna Guillory, and Leon S. Kennedy, Johann Urb. Together, they must navigate through different scenarios, facing not only hordes of undead, but also advanced bioweapons created by Umbrella, such as the massive axe-wielding Executioner and the agile and deadly Lickers. The narrative expands the scope of the Resident Evil universe by introducing new locations, such as an underwater Umbrella facility and the icy landscape of Russia, where the survivors believe the last stronghold against the undead is located. Along the way, Alice discovers that she has a daughter, Becky, Ariana Engineer, who has also been part of the simulation. The revelation adds an emotional layer to Alice's quest for survival and her determination to protect those she cares about. As the group reaches the underwater Umbrella facility, they confront Wesker, Sean Roberts, who has once again aligned himself with Alice to battle a new, more significant threat, the impending global release of the T-virus. The Red Queen warns that the human population is facing extinction, and the survivors must find a way to stop the spread of the virus. Resident Evil Retribution concludes with a climactic battle between Alice and the forces of Umbrella, leading to significant revelations about the true nature of the Red Queen's motives and the ongoing struggle against the T-virus. The film sets the stage for the final chapter in the Resident Evil film series, promising a resolution to the overarching conflict between Alice and the Umbrella Corporation. While the film received mixed reviews from critics, fans of the Resident Evil series appreciated the action-packed sequences, elaborate set designs, and the continuation of the franchise's overarching narrative. Resident Evil Retribution maintains the series' signature blend of sci-fi horror and high-octane action, providing an entertaining experience for fans of the survival horror genre. Resident Evil, The Final Chapter, is a science fiction action horror film directed by Paul W.S. Anderson, serving as the sixth and final installment in the Resident Evil film series. Released in 2016, the movie provides a conclusion to the narrative arc that began with the first film in 2002. Milla Jovovich reprises her role as Alice, the iconic protagonist of the series. The story picks up immediately after the events of Resident Evil Retribution. Humanity is on the brink of extinction, as the global T-virus developed by the Umbrella Corporation has unleashed a zombie apocalypse, turning most of the world's population into undead creatures. Alice, who possesses enhanced abilities due to exposure to the virus, is humanity's last hope. The narrative begins with Alice receiving a message from the Red Queen, an artificial intelligence system created by the Umbrella Corporation. The Red Queen informs Alice that there is a cure for the T-virus hidden in the hive, the underground facility where the outbreak originated. Alice is given 48 hours to retrieve the cure and save what remains of humanity. Alice embarks on a perilous journey to Raccoon City, where the hive is located. Along the way, she encounters old allies and faces new threats. The movie introduces Dr. Isaacs, played by Ian Glenn, the original creator of the T-virus, who is revealed to be alive and leading the Umbrella Corporation's final assault against the remaining human survivors. The plot is punctuated by intense action sequences featuring Alice battling hordes of undead creatures, mutant monsters, and Umbrella Corporation forces. The film also delves into Alice's past, revealing the truth about her origins and connection to the Umbrella Corporation's experiments. As Alice reaches the hive, she confronts not only the mutated monstrosities within, but also her own doppelganger clones created by the Red Queen. The narrative unfolds with a series of twists and turns, keeping the audience engaged in the final chapter of Alice's struggle against the forces of Umbrella. The film's climax delivers a high-stakes showdown between Alice and Dr. Isaacs. The fate of humanity hangs in the balance as Alice confronts the source of the apocalypse and battles to ensure a future free from the T-virus. The action-packed finale is complemented by revelations about the true nature of Alice's abilities and her significance in the fight against Umbrella. Resident Evil, the final chapter, serves as a fitting conclusion to the long-running film series. It combines elements of horror, science fiction, and relentless action, staying true to the video game franchise that inspired it. The movie ties up loose ends, answers lingering questions, and provides closure for fans who have followed Alice's journey throughout the saga. In summary, the film offers a thrilling and action-packed conclusion to the Resident Evil film series, bringing the story full circle while delivering on the expectations of fans who have been invested in the franchise for over a decade. With its epic battles, revelations, and a sense of closure, Resident Evil: The Final Chapter bids farewell to the iconic character of Alice and the dystopian world she fought to save.